Pantera fans are the England fans of metal. Welcome back to the vlog. It's been too long now, hasn't it? It's been like 10 days since the Black Sabbath one went out. It's got like 200 views. Thank you very much. I don't support Arsenal, I support Crawley, just in case you're wondering. But today we are seeing a very, very special band. We are seeing Pantera, supported by Power Trip at Wembley Arena. So it's going to be quite a good one. With King Parrot. I don't know who they are, or who he is, or why is there a parrot on stage? I can't answer any of them questions. What I can answer is, what have I been up to for the last 10 days when I've not been uploading? Friday, I saw Marilyn Manson at the Apollo. Very... Okay, no. Very, very good gig that was, actually. I wish I vlogged it, but I just didn't do anything else in the day, so it was sort of just a head over, check him, and I don't know, is it a band anymore? Is Marilyn Manson, because it used to be a band, and the singer, obviously, his name was Marilyn Manson. Is it still a band? So that was Friday. Saturday, went to a zoo, saw some llamas and such. And then rest of the weekend, couple of beers on Sunday, couple of beers on Monday, and today back to the vlogging, back to the gigging. I would talk about Marilyn Manson. Ignore that, that's just the end of the dart. Yeah, dodgy geezer. And before actually going to the gig, and when I was buying tickets, it was sort of, do I go? You know, it's a bit immoral really going, isn't it? But is it? I don't know. That's what I'm asking you people. I'm in no position whatsoever to answer that, and if people should be going to go see him or not, considering what the geezer's up to, apparently, allegedly. Yeah, I did go, and I did actually really fucking enjoy it, and I did think there was going to be a protest or something going on around the Apollo, but there wasn't. People did keep it in their pants, which we can just all hope that he continues to do as well. One quite interesting thing is that yesterday it was announced that Disturbed are playing the O2. Can't stand them. I don't really know what this whole, like, the singers supporting Palestine, I don't, honestly, I'm not going to get involved in that, because quite frankly, that's got nothing to do with me, and I don't really care about what he doesn't think about when he's sleeping. Do you know what I mean? That's not really what I'm talking about here. The weird thing is, and that's not why I don't like them, that's what I was getting at. I just don't like them because I think their music's a bit shit. But they're getting supported by Megadeth. So that might be something that I've got to go to now, and would be quite interesting if tickets aren't too expensive and Megadeth are confirmed to actually being given a decent slot. Maybe I'll just buy tickets to that. If they're like 50 quid, 60 quid, you know, it's the O2, so they'll probably be like 60, 70 quid for a bit of shit seats. But I'd go to that, see Megadeth, get the early train home. Do you know what I mean? That might be something that I'm up for. Or go, see Megadeth, see whoever else is supporting if they get a third one. And just see like 2 songs of Disturbed, agree that it's shit, and leave. So, that might be something that I'd do. Maybe. Because I do like Megadeth, and I don't know why they're supporting. It's a really weird support act. On other notes, do you have the cheese on top of the butter on a jacket potato, or on top of the beans or tuna?
It's time to go!
To go see Pantera.
There's a car coming though. There's a car. Oh no.
We are now walking back few words on the gig. I didn't vlog that much while we were there because it was a really fucking awkward atmosphere. Because Pantera fans are very dickheadish. A lot of cunts. A lot of cunts. And I spoke to a guy on the tube back as well. And he left at the same time as us, which was a bit early because we wanted to get the last train back and not have to hike through mountains to get home. And he was just like, yeah, it was just a very hostile gig. A lot of cunts, obviously. It's Pantera, isn't it? Yeah, the audience just was very, you know, typical of what you'd think of a Pantera fan, I suppose. And the people in front of us stood up the entire time, which, you know, you stand up for your favourite song, you record it, get a nice angle, you know, see them more. Don't know, I don't really see the point in standing up, to be honest, when you're sitting down, because the view's as good as it can be, and you're just being a cunt to everyone behind you, to be honest. And I did notice the people next to us were standing up because the people in front of them were standing up, which then causes a carcass of standing up. We didn't stand up because there was people behind us, and we were like, well, we're not going to just piss them off as well and add to the trauma, you know. So there were quite a few songs where I couldn't see anything, but you know, it's not my first ever gig, you know. I'm all right with hearing the music, believe it or not. But this was like the stereotypical cunt metalheads. We were lucky we left early because being stuck on a lot of cancelled trains. We got the last one out of there. Imagine just being stuck at like Wembley Park with them. Pantera fans are the England fans of metal. That's going to be in the trailer. That is but it wrapped off a good weekend. I didn't vlog most of the weekend, unfortunately, and I don't think I'm going to end the vlog here because I think that'd be a bit shit. So I might carry it on over. The next gig I've got is Ghost next month at the O2, which is a better venue, and the toilets are not. There are a lot of toilets at the O2. Very similar to Wembley Stadium, actually, in the way that they set up the toilets, which is interesting. That's actually something I didn't mention in this one. Wembley Arena has never been a problem for me in terms of the space and the toilets. It's always been busy. It's always been a little bit of a queue. But Christ, you could not get through at all. The entire upper section completely rammed. You couldn't get into a queue for food, couldn't get into a queue for beer, couldn't get into a queue for the toilet. It was a shithole. And Alicia went into the bathroom, the missus, and a man came in and she was like, sorry, you know, this is the women's, as you would. And he went, ugh, and just walked in anyway. So if you're that fat tart that went in, fucking have some of that. Fucking awful weather today, isn't it, lads? So here we go. We're going to fucking describe last night a little bit more, because I know we're going to get rid of a lot of the clips from yesterday because they were fucking boring. I've noticed that whenever I do a little review of my kitchen downstairs after I get back on a gig, that it's normally just absolute waffle. So I'm going to cut that down a little bit. You're welcome. And we're going to have a little chat about it now, just so I don't have to make another video about Pantera, because it's going to fucking bang, hopefully. Starting off in the least interesting things is the lineup. King Parrot, did not see them. Apparently they were pretty shit from some mate, my new mate that I met on the train back. He said they just wank, really. So there you are. When I was listening to the lineup and sort of seeing if I was going to enjoy the gig and if I should get a ticket before the pre-sale went out, they did not interest me whatsoever. So I'm not entirely surprised by that. We came in about halfway through the Power Trip set. Know nothing about them. Look, I'm a very basic metalhead in terms of this angry fucking groove metal, whatever you'd call it. I like Pantera. I like Crowbar. That's about it, to be honest, in the sort of groove, sludge, whatever the fuck you'd call it. It's music at the end of the day. So I can't lie and pretend that I know Power Trip inside and out. Apparently it's none of the originals, or it's not the original singer, or something like that. It was, again, my new mate was telling me. But they were alright. They didn't impress me that much. I thought I'd actually like them because I didn't listen to any of their albums, but I did have a little go on the singles leading up to this, and I thought they were pretty good. But live, they were just... They were fucking heavy, but they weren't nothing special. At least last night, you know, who knows? They were probably fucking incredible in the 90s and 80s and 70s and 60s and 50s and 40s and fucking 70s and 80s. But that's just my opinion. And leading on to Pantera, musically they were fucking incredible. Phil Anselmo, still the voice on that man. You don't want to listen to what the voice is saying, especially when he's fucking giving salutes, but very fucking good and still incredible live. Honestly, we were fucking tight. When you talk about the lineup and is it still Pantera with Rex Brown and Phil without the Abbott brothers? Yeah, it's a controversial thing to say that I've now seen Pantera, because have you? Do you know what I mean? But look, I'm not saying Pan-fucking-Terra, but it's as close as any of us is going to get in the modern day, so you can't fucking say that it's a bad thing. You know, the music's out there, it's going to be played by someone. I'd rather it be played by at least a band that can still play music, rather than some tribute band that you pay 20 quid to see and they fucking throw up on stage. Zakk Wylde is fucking incredible. Obviously, we all know from Black Label Society and playing with Ozzy Osbourne and Zach Sabbath, which still not quite sure if that's up my alley. But that's something fun if I can't get Black Sabbath tickets. I mean, he's just a fucking engine of metal, isn't he? He just does everything. He's literally just doing side missions at this point. And whatever he wants, he's going out and he's fucking doing it. Playing with Pantera, playing with Ozzy, fucking doing Black Sabbath tribute shows. Then obviously Black Label Society. He's got his solo shit going on. He's fucking collaborating with everyone. He is a fucking airy guy. So as far as the lineup of the show and of the band goes, can't complain too much, considering it's the modern day and it's quite hard to get the Abbott brothers on stage right now because they're not answering their phones. It's their first UK show, or it was their first UK tour / London show, and I think they played in Birmingham or something. It's their first in 20 years. I thought I'd say that. It doesn't really mean much. I was one. Thought I'd throw that out there for your old guns. But whenever they advertise it, I get it. It's like, oh, we haven't been here for 20 years. We fucking know. We know, because we wanted to go see you for 20 years. You know what I mean? It's like, fucking hurry up. And every band that does it as well say, oh, we're going to be back sooner next time. Fuck off. And the last few positives before we go on to all the negatives, the sound. I've had a lot of gigs at Wembley Arena, this new OVO Wembley Arena, and the sound can be a bit hit or miss. Sometimes it's just fucking too quiet. When I saw Slash and Miles Kennedy, you could barely fucking hear a thing. It was very, like, flat. Okay, it wasn't quiet, but it was very flat, and there wasn't much variation in fucking cymbals and bollocks and cum stains. I don't know what any of that shit is, you know what I mean? It was very flat, is what I'm going to say. But then when we saw Judas Priest, it was a bit too fucking loud. And I don't mean just fucking heavy loud. I mean, like, you know, I started wearing earplugs after that gig, because it was just that sort of fucking, you know what I mean? Like a ringing loud, not a good loud. But I think they got it perfect with Pantera. I think Power Trip wasn't set up perfectly for the sound, but Pantera certainly was fucking, as I said earlier, the vocals are just fucking close to nothing I've seen before in terms of, like, an angelic voice for the young man from Texas. It's fucking... And now negatives. The people. The toilets. Toilet queues are incredibly long. I mean, this is giving flashbacks of On the Beach Festival in Brighton, my first ever video on this channel, where we left because of the toilet queues and the food queues, and you couldn't get anything, could get no food, could get no drink, could get no toilets. Very similar vibes, and I think it is mainly because Pantera fans are mainly going to be men, and that already, you know, when a normal metal gig, you're probably going to get 50-50, maybe 60-40, a lot of people going with their partners. Pantera fans ain't got no partners, do you know what I mean? They beat them too much in the 90s, so they got no one to go with, just their best mate. Get too drunk, ain't got a wife to get home to and no kids, you know what I mean? So obviously there's going to be more men, which is going to mean there's going to be more people waiting for what? The men's bathrooms. But still, it was just a bit of a piss take with how many. I mean, I went about 15 minutes before Pantera came on because I knew it was going to be like a long, long wait. And it took me about 10-15 minutes in the queue. We got back just as they were starting. And I didn't need it that desperately. I just knew that I wouldn't be able to hold for another hour. So I went in And by the time that I got to the front of the queue, I would have fucking needed it. So I could not imagine, you know, being like 4 beers deep where it's like flowing every half a pint and you having to wait 20 minutes. No idea how people did that, to be fair. That's probably why they were so angry. And just overall, yeah, like people barging into the women's toilets to go for a piss and not even like saying sorry. People just smoking inside, which, you know, I get it. Like, you don't want to go outside. It's pretty fucking simple. It's a big arena. But not even hiding it, just in the middle, just fucking... Don't be a cunt about it, you know what I mean? And as I probably mentioned yesterday, and I don't know if I cut it out or not, but where we were sitting, we bought aisle seats. This is the one thing that did piss me off. And the thing that pissed me off the most about yesterday is that we bought aisle seats. Yesterday, I got a message that I'll put in here if I can be asked, that said we could no longer class your seats as aisle seats. You're going to get a bit of a refund, which I've not actually seen if I got yet, which fucking hopefully. It's going to be like £5 on both. But so we're meant to get both, 2 aisle seats. But our seat number hasn't changed. We come into the venue after getting this email. We're like, you know, that's fine. Maybe they've just moved us along one. I don't know. We get in and the geezer's like, you got to go around the N5. We want North 7. Let's go through North 5 because it was such a, in the middle of the 2 rows, I suppose. And we sit down, I'm like, well, how the fuck was this an aisle seat when we're in the middle of probably the biggest row you've ever seen in your life? When I realised the guy next to me and the guy next to him as well are sitting on the stairs. They've put an extra row of seats, which I've never seen. Look, I went to a lot of stadium gigs. I've never seen them start filling in. Especially, I mean, Wembley Arena, I've been, 7-8 times in the last year. And I've never seen them put in extra seats. Just 2 along one of the staircases. So we went from aisle seat, which I always prefer. Go and get a beer whenever you need. Just, I don't know, I just prefer it. I enjoy it more. And you're on the end. Pop off whenever you need. Don't need to squeeze past anyone. And all of a sudden, we're in the middle of one row. So the row that we're meant to be on the end of, which is fine. Okay, we're sitting at the end of that one. Because they put another 2 next to us, and then it's went on to the next row further on, because they're blocked on the middle staircase. We've now got like 8 people that side, 8 people that side, when we paid for an aisle seat. I know I don't give a fuck about a refund at the end of the day. That's one thing that did really fucking piss me off, because, like, tell me beforehand that might happen at least. So it's probably in the T's and C's and Q's and P's, but yeah, that's a bit fucking off. And hopefully the refund will be fucking 15, 20 quid, not just a £5, which realistically, it's not that big of a difference for aisle seats. It's like a tenner. So that's probably what it'll end up being. But yeah, that's a bit of a piss state, to be honest with you. And having a gig of that size and that magnitude on a Tuesday anyway is a bit dodgy. But yeah, good luck to all them people that got stranded in Wembley and had to be back for their fucking 8 o'clock starts the next day. I salute you. But overall, you know what? There were so many negatives yesterday just with trains and cancellations and people there and toilets and drink. Like, everything was just so, like, everything went against us. But still, when I got home, I was like, Pantera are fucking brilliant. Like, they are just so good. And even people, like, standing in front of us, we were in the seated section, and there was people standing in front of us for, like, half the show at least. Some big, fat, bald cunt just in front of me, so looking at his fucking arse crack. But even then, I just enjoyed it so much, and it's such a weird thing that out of all them negatives, I still loved it, and I still loved the occasion. I'm so glad I went. And I would say I'd go see him again. But I don't know. I didn't like the people that went. I'm not soft. I'm just not hard for fucking bald cunts that are acting like lead singers of 90s metal bands when they actually just work in fucking Surrey. You know? It's not what I'm about. Be yourself, man. Live, laugh, love. See you in the next one.